Hi, my name is Susan Graham. Welcome to my presentation on trauma in student development, learning, and life. The purpose of this presentation and the learning objectives today include an understanding of what childhood trauma is, recognizing potential signs of childhood trauma, and understanding the impact of social, cultural, family norms, and educational law on a learner's academic success in an educational setting. So let's define childhood trauma. Trauma is a frightening, dangerous, or violent event that impacts a child emotionally and/or physically. Sometimes the impact of trauma persists long after the trauma has ended. Significant or continuous trauma experienced particularly from 0 to 18 can alter a child's emotional, mental, and physical growth and impact their health and success throughout a lifespan. Some common trauma includes abuse, neglect, family issues such as substance misuse, separation, or divorce. It can also include racism and bullying. Potential signs of trauma can include developmental delays, learning disabilities. A child may have problems with executive functioning. They may have the inability to self-regulate or they're dysregulated. They may be triggered easily. They may be angry, fearful, anxious. The child may have chronic health issues or complain a lot about stomach aches, headaches. They may be a bully or the target of bullying. They may be withdrawn, uncomfortable speaking out, have avoidant behavior, or they could be disruptive or have behavioral issues. Let's take a look at norms. Now, cultural, social, and family norms can all impact a child's success in the educational setting. Norms are basically unwritten rules and standards that determine our attitudes and behaviors. Norms can be based on the culture or community we identify or interact with, or a social group or setting, and it can even be the norms that we abide by within our family. So let's take a look at social norms. Social norms allow individuals to communicate, collaborate on tasks, and basically govern the appropriate behavior. Social norms allow conforming adults to become part of a cohesive group. But this can be difficult if a learner has a different cultural, social, or family set of norms, or even if they've experienced trauma. Some examples can include how they communicate or interact. Are they comfortable raising hands or familiar with it? Do they know how to take turns and not interrupt one another or not interrupt the teacher? Can they sustain from outbursts? Perhaps it may include their behavior management and their self-regulation skills and even managing conflict. Some examples of family norms can include cultural differences, the family structure and dynamics, family functioning, parental involvement and encouragement, and their attitude toward education, along with how much they are willing to communicate with educators in the school, and also the socioeconomic status and their access to resources. Because every family has its own culture that is unique, complex, and multi-layered. They are diverse, they have different values, beliefs, rules, and expectations. Now, the impact of cultural norms on student academic learning in an educational setting can include language barriers, religion. Does the religion keep them from interacting with activities? Are they from a collective society where they emphasize family and community more than the individual? Because in the US, we're a very individualistic society and we emphasize independence and competition. What are the communication styles like? Are they more private in their culture? Are they more open? Basically, cultures are the larger set of customs, beliefs, values, traditions, and languages that allow us to connect and identify with one another. And it can be a really big part of a learner's identity. So what can educators do to support students with different cultural, social, and family norms? Well, they can recognize, respect, and include the diversity of cultures in communication, lesson planning, materials, discussions, and events. Be cognizant of learners' different values, traditions, religions, all that good stuff. They can invite students to discuss and collaborate on classroom norms. This allows for the respect, that diversity, and it creates an ownership. And you can communicate and involve parents, and it's important for educators to understand students by communicating with them and observing them and creating a trauma-informed classroom. So how does educational law impact our students? Well, let's look at FERPA first. FERPA is basically the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and it protects personal information of minors in K through 12, including grades, transcripts, disciplinary, and health records. FERPA is wonderful because it is very protective of our minors. However, it can become tricky when there's a situation that can lead to a student or parent requesting information about another student, perhaps if it's a bullying situation they're worried about or grading. And HIPAA usually does not involve schools unless the school is providing on-site medical care. Now, IDEA is basically the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and it's a law that ensures children with disabilities have free and full access to special educational services and support. This wasn't always the case, but today children with disabilities can no longer be turned away from schools. Now, there has been some success, and we have seen a lot of students that have graduated with disabilities. However, we have some work to do because there has also been a significant increase in the rates of discipline, restraint, and seclusion in these same communities. So I want to thank everybody for watching my presentation, and I appreciate your time.